You're washed up. It's curtains.
No.
Curtains, Crimson. Curtains.
No, come on, Mo. Quit fooling around. I got bills to pay.
It's over. You're out of here. It's curtains.
I got kids at home.
Curtains, Crimson.
No, I got lumbago. Come on, no, come on.
I live for that part.
So this is it. This is the one. This was the unit that was actually able to squirrel my heart away from my beloved MPC One. Of course, she needs no further introduction. It's the venerable Retro Edition MPC Live II. And I gotta say, I have had it for about a week, and I'm already knowing that that was absolutely the right decision to make. So, why did I move away from the One? I absolutely adored it. I loved its form factor. I loved how small it was. I loved its lightness. It was just right at 4 pounds. I loved the extra buttons that it has compared to the Live II. It has a full 5 more buttons. I loved its dedicated save button. I used the program edit button far more times than I could count in any one session. These are really important aspects of my workflow. They added a lot to it. Let's talk about some of the cons of the Live. The first is, I'm going to be nuanced about it, but it's the speaker. First, the good things about the speaker. It actually performs really well throughout most of the frequency range. For that, I'm going to give kudos to Akai. And as far as low frequencies go, it actually performs surprisingly well, all the way down to a certain frequency. And past that frequency, lower than that frequency, the performance of the speaker actually slopes off. And in a noticeable way. I actually have an episode coming up on exactly that issue. I break down the speaker and I apply some science and numbers to it to back up my assertions. I'll put a link to that video right there. So again, you're going to find the speaker to be very usable down to a certain bass frequency, and then beyond that, it sort of fades off. You know, that can fit into one person's workflow, whereas another person's workflow might need something a little bit more rigorous and accurate. And I just wasn't sure at the time being before I had the Live and everything was like theory to me. I wasn't sure if it was something that I could be happy with. I guess the only other con I might talk about is the weight of the Live II. It's a little over 7 pounds, which of course is 3 pounds heavier than the Live One. To be honest, I didn't really think that was going to be a big deal. It is heavier. I mean, for me, a difference of 3 pounds between one box and the other, that's not a big deal. What I wasn't sure about, though, was the rectangular form factor of the Live II. As I said before, I really did dig the squarish factor for the Live One. I had a MPC Touch. That was actually the first groove box I ever had, and so I knew what to expect with the much bigger pads. I mean, why would anyone complain about bigger pads? Having come from the Live One, I will say that in terms of usability, it's kind of a wash. I was able to work really well with the small pads on the One, just like I'm able to work with the big pads on the Live, and before was able to work with on the on the MPC Touch. So that's not a big deal. When trying to figure out why I made the switch from the MPC One to the MPC Live, all you need to do is to consider 3 words that end with T. Portability connectivity, and beauty. Wrote that myself. Let's first consider portability. You're gonna hear a lot of people on the internet talk about this unit's portability. It is extremely portable. It only weighs 7 pounds. Some people complain about that being too heavy. I actually consider that to be just right, and I pretty much expect it right around that weight. I have a laptop that I lugged around for years on my back that weighed 7 pounds, so I know how that feels, and that's no sweat to me. Some people will laud even its ability to enable them to go and do beats on the couch in the living room while they're watching their kids or while they're sitting on the couch watching TV with their spouse. That's not something that resonates with me, but one thing that does resonate with me is my ability to take it with me during travels. My ability to make music while I'm visiting the in-laws or while I'm on my way to a prospective client, and it gives me the ability to impress him or her with a beat that I did on the airplane, especially made for them. That's really big. I think that's super important. Let's talk secondly about beauty. I mean, look at it. It's to die for. It's gorgeous. Again, going back to the point when I still own the MPC One, after getting the black model, I made a deal with myself that whatever MPC that I might come up with next would absolutely have to be the retro edition, because they are so beautiful. They're so retro-licious, and I just love it. So that's me. Maybe it's not for everybody, but for me, it absolutely works. I saved the most important aspect, at least as far as I'm concerned, for last, and that's connectivity. Specifically speaking about its 6 ins and outs. I have a lot of outboard gear that I love shooting audio into from whatever sound source that we're talking about, whether it's Cubase through my Apollo Firewire, or in this case, the MPC Live II. It gives me the ability to, while I'm working on a project in real time, send audio out of any one of 6 outs into any processing box I desire, whether it's a preamp or an EQ or a dirt box or what have you, and then shoot it right back into the MPC and work with it as if that processing were being taken care of in the box. That far and away was the most important thing to me. I actually tried that scheme with the MPC One through the use of an external USB audio interface. Didn't work exactly as I wanted or expected. Specifically, I'm talking about the M Audio Fast Track, which I can see in its day was an incredible interface, but it no longer has drivers for Win 10, and as such, that just made it pretty much a non-starter. At that point, I thought to myself, well, I have to think bigger, and that's when I started to think, my eye started to turn towards the Live II, which has, of course, 6 ins and outs native.
And now, without any further ado, why not take her out for a little spin, shall we?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to creep anybody out there.
Okay. All right.